Psalm 118, verses 1 through 4. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Let Israel say, his love endures forever. Let the house of Aaron say, his love endures forever. Let those who fear the Lord say, his love endures forever. Interesting beginning to this psalm, as it begins with a declaration, a song that we are to sing about the goodness of God's good love, about the worthiness of God's good love, how God's good love has come to bear upon us, to visit us. And so the whole nation of Israel is to sing and to declare the goodness of God's love. The priests in the temple are to declare and to sing the goodness of God's love. And then those who fear the Lord are invited to sing. Thus, the timelessness of this psalm, for we are those who fear the Lord, and we are invited in to celebrate with Israel, to celebrate with the house of Aaron, to celebrate in the name of God the goodness of God's good love. This is the day of his good love. The psalmist then moves in verses 5 through 18. He moves into a time where he cries out. He writes, "When hard pressed, I cried to the Lord. He brought me into a spacious place. The Lord is with me. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? The Lord is with me. He is my helper. I look to him to triumph over my enemies." And so not only is this the day of God's good love, but it is also the day of God's good help. When trials beset us, when hardships, when there is anguish, when there is turmoil, when there are enemies, either physical known enemies or biological viral enemies that we don't understand, I look to him who will triumph over my enemies. And so this is the day of God's good love. It is also the day of God's good help. But the psalmist continues, and finally, in verses 19 through 29, he writes about open the gates that lead to your presence, the gates that lead to me giving thanksgiving and celebrating your good presence, O God. So this is also the day of God's good triumph. Thank you, the psalmist writes, for sending your representative. Behold the one who comes in the name of the Lord. You see, the interesting thing about this psalm, as timeless as it is, as ancient as it is, it was written centuries before Jesus was born, before the triumphal entry on Palm Sunday into the city of Jerusalem. But this is the psalm the nation chanted. This is the psalm that came forth out of their mouths, out of their lungs, where they said, "Behold the one who comes in the name of the Lord." They recognized Jesus as God's good representative. They recognized that this was the day of God's good Son. As he comes to present the triumph, as he comes to present the answer, as he comes to fulfill the hope of the generations, the hope and the promise of the people. And so the psalmist writes, open the gates, the ones that lead to your presence, and I will thank you. I will thank you for this representative. I will thank you for the goodness of this day, for this is the day that you have made, and I will rejoice in it. Psalm 118, a treasure to behold, one to sing and to give thanks before God, one to celebrate on this coming Palm Sunday, this next Sunday, as we celebrate together God's good love, God's good help, and God's good representative, who is Jesus. And the psalmist ends in verse 29, where he writes, once again, as he began this psalm, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. God bless you.